If you've been waiting for a clear, no-fluff breakdown of what Aniimo is adding in CBT2, this preview is basically a checklist of upgrades, new regions with more environmental identity, new creatures with actual gameplay traits, bigger boss and story hooks, a brand new squad mode that looks like it will create the best moments on stream, plus Homeland and visual upgrades on top. So while I run the live stream footage in the background, I'm going to give you a clean overview of what's being shown, what's new, what it means, and what you should pay attention to. And quick note, before we get into it, I will be covering content on the game, and I have second beta access on January 23rd. I'll be going over all of the second beta and making content about the game. That's all I can say at the moment. But like and subscribe to see the game as early as possible when I cover it in a few weeks' time. This live stream is set up as a here's what's coming program for CBT2. They talk about test recruitment, they bring planners on to explain features, and then they roll through the biggest additions, regions, creatures, progression content, the new mode, and then polish and platform support. The important thing is, this isn't just a trailer. They actually explain how several systems work, especially the new squad mode, and that's where most of the value is. A major theme in CBT2 is that regions aren't being presented as just another map. They're showing places with distinctive atmosphere and then introducing creatures and interactions that fit those areas. One of the first highlights is the Snow Meadow region, where Angel Coco appears. The key takeaway here isn't just the creature itself, it's that they're framing the area around what lives there and what kind of encounters you'll have. Alongside it, they talk about the cloud sheep creature type that appears in highland plateau environments, and the emphasis is on how it uses clouds and how it behaves in the ecosystem, not on it being a generic combat target. From there, they shift into one of the most visually memorable location concepts, the Ghost Face Castle. And the interesting part is that they tie it directly to creatures it's described as a surprise attack site built by the chimney ant species, with functional rooms and interior spaces. It's a small world-building detail, but it makes the environment feel intentional, like the creatures aren't just placed there, they're part of why the place exists. Then we move into the Red Rock Cave-style area with hot springs, heated ore, and lava cracks, and this is where they spell out the ecosystem loop more clearly. They describe mineral detection and ore feeding, and how one species carrying ore ends up supporting another species' habitat, while also benefiting itself. The point they're selling is, when you explore different zones, you'll see unique ecological relationships, not just different backgrounds. Next, the preview touches a more autumnal forest vibe with the burst pine tree, where something that looks like an egg drops from above, but it's actually a creature using disguise tactics. They explain how it can shrink into an eggshell form to avoid attention, and that you can miss it if you're not paying attention, which is exactly the kind of design that makes exploration more interesting than just following markers. In that same section, they introduce Dream Boy, shown as a laid-back, sleepy creature that can flip into a much more aggressive state if disturbed. Again, the value here is variety. The region isn't just new visuals, it's new encounter types. And then there's a deliberate mystery hook, the Golden Rooster Tower. They describe it as thorn-covered and hard to enter, and they keep the explanation vague on purpose, basically telling players there's something going on there, but you'll need to explore and discover it during CBT2. So overall, region-wise, CBT2 is pushing more biomes, more distinct creature placement, and more environmental logic. After the region showcases, they shift into creature reveals, and one thing that comes through strongly is that they're watching community feedback and designing around it. They highlight EQ, the bat-inspired creature with strong sound awareness. The way it's described is not just a new cute one, it's a creature with a trait that could actually support exploration, something that helps you sense what's happening around you. They also show the mountain shell fish, which is instantly one of those designs people clip and meme: small body, strong bite, blank expression, but with personality. This is exactly the type of creature that becomes part of the community culture. Then they reveal the Sea Angel, and they do the classic twist. It looks harmless, but it can freeze you and punish you when you're not paying attention. This preview keeps leaning into that cute on the outside, dangerous in the mechanics contrast, which is great because it means encounters won't all feel the same. And right after those reveals, they restate the core experience. This is a big world creature collecting RPG where you collect creatures and then merge with them to gain their abilities and vision, and that's what lets you explore a wider world. That merge idea is central to how they want the game to feel different. Then they zoom out to progression and difficulty tiers, boss level creatures tied to regions and legendary tier creatures above that. The big legendary focus here is Rainbow Roundtail Irelie. They give a story summary around color. Irelie can distinguish and absorb colors. It searches for a legendary red sky phenomenon. Then a major change causes the world to fade into grey. To protect the continent, it sacrifices its own color to restore life. Flowers bloom again, and it falls into deep sleep. The important part isn't just the lore, it's that they clearly frame this as a storyline CBT2 will expand with more hints and reveals. So if you're someone who cares about narrative progression, this is the signpost. CBT2 isn't just systems and creatures, it's also pushing story threads forward. Now, this is the section that most people are going to care about because it's the most fully explained new mode, Bomb Grab Battle on the Lost Islands. The structure is straightforward. You enter as a 3-player squad, you start in the outer areas, you explore and search ruins, and you're looking for the entrance to a huge lost underground palace. In that palace, you're hunting treasure and creature eggs, and then you extract back to the boat. This format matters because it creates natural tension. You can keep pushing deeper for better rewards, but the longer you stay, the more likely something goes wrong. They also introduce threats that are exclusive to this mode, including special obsidian types that only appear here. They present them as rare, visually striking, and powerful, the kind of encounter that becomes a target for players who want rare hatches. Then there are status effects and chaos elements. They describe a creature that can hit you with a kind of negative madness state. And the kicker is that it can spread to teammates. That means the mode isn't just about damage, it's about control, positioning, and preventing a spiral. They also mention hazards like the rolling ball wolf concept appearing in this environment, which adds that unpredictable, you can get ruined instantly energy that makes for good clips. But the defining moment is when the core area opens. At that point, they explicitly say you get a choice, extract safely with what you've earned, or go into the core and compete for rarer rewards. And then comes the headline mechanic. The first person to touch the objective turns into an egg. You can still move and jump, but other adventurers can attack you. If the egg's strength hits 0, the link breaks and the egg can be stolen, meaning your squad has to protect the egg as a moving objective. So now it's a full team scenario. Defend your egg teammate, fight off attackers, and extract or hunt other squads. Steal their egg and escape yourself. Finally, they frame the reward loop. Success gives everyone reward eggs, with chances at rare hatches, including obsidian types. That's the one more run hook built into the mode. If this mode lands well, it'll be the core content generator for people making clips and streams. Exploration, tension, squad teamwork, and a PvP decision point that can flip the entire match. After that, they talk about upgrades to the solo training style gameplay, what they describe as a challenge format where you cultivate your team, fight through layers, and gain buffs. They emphasize improvements that make it easier to build the kind of buff combination you actually want, and they tease more dramatic boss connection moments if conditions are met. Then they introduce a multiplayer team boss format. A 4-player team challenges a boss. The boss receives different enhancements by season, and teams choose shared modifiers before the fight. Your damage is converted into scores, which determines reward tiers. In other words, they're setting up repeatable content for people who like optimizing runs, not just exploring. Next, they shift to Homeland, and the concept they settle on is a big world RV camp feel. The RV acts as a social hub and also as the portal into your personal home space. Inside the home, they talk about farming loops, planting, watering, harvesting, and flexible decoration. But the most important thing they show in the preview is how they're blending resources with play. They show facilities that look like amusement rides but function as production workshops, like a carousel that is actually a mill and a spinning wheel setup with a small Ferris wheel vibe. And they emphasize that creatures can provide energy using their abilities, or you can bring friends to help speed things up. So Homeland is being positioned as customization, progression, and social play, not just a decorative box. Finally, they address the feedback from the previous test: visuals, material quality, lighting, character models, and performance. They show a richer city hub with more life and themed stores. They discuss upgraded fashion materials and additional detail, and they confirm accessory placement and scaling, meaning you have more freedom to customize looks. They also state improvements to NPC quality and player character customization, including more templates and options, and the biggest practical confirmation, PC optimization is improving, and the mobile test will run alongside CBT2, which is huge if you prefer playing on mobile or want to check the experience across devices. So, big picture. CBT2 is shaping up around new regions with stronger identity, new creatures with more distinct traits, boss and legendary story progression, the major new squad mode on the Lost Islands, plus repeatable challenge content, a more social Homeland loop, and meaningful polish on visuals and performance, including mobile support. And again, I have second beta access on January 23rd, and I'll be covering the second beta and making content about the game. That's all I can say at the moment, but like and subscribe to see the game as early as possible when I cover it in a few weeks' time.